Hello, boys and girls, J. Wallace James families, and everybody who's watching. It's Dr. Downs, principal over at J. Wallace James. This is another week of our Principal Read Aloud. This week we're going to be reading Born to be a Raging Cajun, written by J.D. Regard. All right, the quiz number for this is 400017. That's 400017. All right, my friends. And here we go. For my very first game to see Raging Cajuns play football, my whole family joined the fun. It all began in the middle of the UL campus in Lafayette, where my dad showed us Cypress Lake. In the lake you can see fish, turtles, and even alligators. After seeing those alligators, I was sure that the Cajuns had the home field advantage. Before heading over to Cajun Field, my dad and I threw my lucky football to loosen up for the day. We threw some passes at each other. I worked on my running, and he let me catch a few bombs. My dad said that I have a Cajun cannon of an arm. Maybe one day I will be lucky enough to play for the real Raging Cajuns. My dad told me that tailgating and Raging Cajun football game was a game day tradition. We had to have big pots, deep ice chests, and enough food to feed just about anyone who showed up. The tailgating was almost as important as the game itself. It was a real treat when my dad put me in charge of the most important tailgating job, which was stirring the jambalaya. During Cajun Walk, the entire football team walked past all of the fans on its way towards Cajun Field. Those football players were some really big guys. I wouldn't have wanted to be on the other team. All the players were really great and gave high fives to the little guys like me. Meeting our favorite players was the best part of Raging Cajuns game day. No game would be complete without the band. In South Louisiana, when people are passing a good time, there is always a band around. The pride of Acadiana marching band provided all the spirit needed for the perfect game day atmosphere. The arrival of the band was a signal to head for the stadium to start the game. Cajun Field is huge. In fact, it might have been the largest building I'd ever seen. We all walked up to the giant stadium and headed towards our seats. I couldn't believe all the people I saw in the stadium. With that many fans there, I was hoping the Cajuns were ready to hustle up and bustle up and fight on to victory. Once we got into the stadium, the green grass, the red and white colors, the big scoreboard, and the cheerleaders were all exciting sights for me. My sisters want to be a Cajun cheerleader one day. She likes to wear her Cajun cheerleading uniform all the time. Go Cajuns, go Cajuns, go Cajuns, she cheered in the excitement over and over again while we entered the stadium. For the start of the game, we rose to our feet as the ball was kicked over to the other team. Before the ball carrier could take a single step, a giant rush of red jerseys swallowed him up. The opposing players never had a chance. The Cajuns were ready to play ball. A few plays later, the Cajuns picked off a pass intended for the other team and ran the ball into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day. A wild celebration broke out in the stands. The band played and the cheerleaders cheered. Another round of high fives. The Cajuns were off to a red-hot start. A flurry of plays ended the first half with the Cajuns leading. So far, it had been a great game. During the half, my dad wanted to give my sister and me our first souvenir. He bought us a Raging Cajuns pennant. It was the perfect reminder of our first trip to Cajun Field. The Cajuns dominated the game. It wasn't long before the game was under Cajun control. The team went on to a big victory at Cajun Field. We did our part and yelled red-white the whole day. Yeah, Rouge, yeah, Blanc, yeah, Cajuns, allons. When the final quarter ended, the horn sounded. My little sister rode high on my dad's shoulders as we left Cajun Field, singing the Raging Cajun fight song all the way back to the car. What a day, what a game. Fight on, Cajuns, fight on to victory for the red and white. We will sing of triumph and glory for our team tonight. You will hear the rage of the Cajuns, so let's give a yell. Hi! Hustle up and bustle up and fight on to victory. Go, UL. Back at home, before my sister and I went to bed, I told my mom and dad just how much fun I had at the football game. It was great to spend the whole day with the family and experience our first Raging Cajuns football game day together. Then I turned to my dad and whispered into his ear, Dad, I was born to be a Raging Cajun. The end. Now, that's Born to be a Raging Cajun. Great book. You can check it out in the library. And this year, our Raging Cajuns are doing really well, and we're excited to have them in the top 25. All right, boys and girls, everybody's watching. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.